Hi guys, in today's episode I actually want to share with you 5 travel mistakes that I need you to look into before you can book accommodation for your next trip. So this is how you travel. So the first mistake that I need you to stop making when you're trying to book accommodation for your next travels is to compare Instagram with reality. So you know how sometimes you feel like, oh my goodness, a certain celebrity and or an influencer has tagged a certain hotel, and then you go online, you check that hotel and you think, oh my goodness, this is ridiculously expensive. And then you wrap up all your trip plans and just figure, you know what, I can't afford to travel. The reality is that I'm going to share with you now is that comparing yourself to the people that are on Instagram and or to influencers is unfair on yourself as well as on your budget. A lot of the time, when celebrities and influencers are out and about at hotels, especially when you find they're tagging the hotel a lot, it's probably because they got a free night and or a free weekend or even a free week. For obvious reasons, that's their work, guys. They get paid for it, and also them posting on their own platforms allows for the hotel to use them as a form of marketing content because they're going to take these professional pictures and have photographers all around, etc. But you and I are not those people. You and I are ordinary people just trying to go out there. And the nice thing that I like about it is when you go onto the booking platforms to check out the actual hotel that was tagged by a celebrity and or an influencer, there's then a list of other hotels which, according to me, you find have the same sort of aesthetic as the main hotel which you had gone online to search for. But they are more cheaper. So then it allows you the opportunity to stay, say, maybe in Camps Bay, but without necessarily having to book at O2 Hotel with ridiculous prices, but also be able to enjoy the city and or the amenities and or the facilities that are around that very same area. So that's mistake number 1 that I need you to avoid. Do not compare Instagram posts and tags to the reality of the accommodation that you can actually afford with your own pocket. The second travel mistake that I need you to stop making when you're booking accommodation is to just go directly onto a booking platform, click book and pay. Sometimes when you find a certain hotel or lodge or whatever it is that you want to stay at, it helps for you to be able to call the accommodation before you can actually book using the booking platform. The reason for this is, in my experience, you often find that obviously the booking platform, because it's an advertising platform for the hotel and or the lodge, charges a certain fee for the services that they're providing to that hotel, which basically means their fee could actually be higher per night than the actual hotel itself. So before you can book your accommodation, just call the place, find out what their rates are per night, if the rate includes breakfast, etc., before you can actually decide which is cheaper. This won't save you millions of rands, guys, but you could save a good 300 or 500 rand on a booking, especially when it comes to having it include breakfast and or include dinner. Sometimes you find that on booking.com, the same platform that which if you were to call the direct hotel, they would include breakfast. But on the platform, the hotel does not include breakfast. So that's another mistake that I need you guys to stop making when you're booking. Call the location first before you can actually use the booking platform to book your accommodation. The third travel mistake that I need you to stop doing when you're booking your accommodation is booking something I like to call an empty hotel. What this basically means that is before you can book a hotel or a lodge or a resort, etc., try and find out what other facilities they actually have on location that will not require you to actually leave the hotel to go and enjoy. For example, for this trip, I booked myself into Leaves Lodge and Spa, and I enjoy the idea that they actually have a spa which is on the facility itself, which means I don't have to go and figure out which spa is great around Nelspruit that I can actually use. I literally just had to leave my room, walk across the road and get into the spa. What that does is to make sure that you are allowing yourself time to actually enjoy your holiday, because you don't want to be always waking up, getting to the car, leaving so that you can go and enjoy activities. But it helps for a lodge to have maybe like a restaurant and a bar, which of course Leaves does have, maybe even a spa, especially if you're traveling with children. You also want to check if they have a play area and or child-friendly facilities. So that's one mistake that I definitely advise you to look into. Don't find yourself in an empty hotel. Rather go for a space that can provide a lot of activities on site so that you can actually enjoy your holiday. The fourth travel mistake that I need you to stop making when you're booking accommodation is actually related to point number 3. Don't overbook yourself when it comes to activities when you're on holiday. The idea of being on holiday, guys, is that you get to relax, have some downtime, enjoy quality time with your friends or your family or your bae. But if you guys have planned too many activities, By the time you go back home, you're going to find you're even more tired than the day you actually left, because you've just been doing a run around trying to keep up with all the activities that you'd have lined up for yourself. If the area that you're staying in, say for example, you decide to do the panorama route like I did, if the area that you're staying in has 4, 5, maybe 6 activities, choose the best 3 to 4, so that you don't find yourself spending your entire weekend always out and about. And also, if you decide to follow my advice on point number 3 of actually booking a lodge and or a residence that has its own facilities, it will also give you time to be able to enjoy those facilities, to have a drink at the pool like I am doing right here, so that you don't find yourself always out and about. That's definitely one of the things that I appreciated at staying at Leaves Lodge and Spa. They had a lot of things to offer. The place is such a beautiful place. The service, the food, everything just made you feel like this is where you want to stay. And even though the day before I arrived at Leaves, I'd actually taken the Gaskop Gorge lift activities, it still allowed me time to be able to get to the hotel, enjoy my time, then have today, which is basically the second day of my stay here, be at the actual lodge to be able to enjoy those facilities. It just allows you time to feel like, oh my goodness, I've actually relaxed, I can actually get a massage, and then for you to make sure that you go back home feeling rejuvenated as what you ideally want when you go on holiday. The fifth and final travel mistake that I need you to not make by whatever means possible is to book an accommodation who you haven't called to find out how the roads leading to the accommodation are. So unfortunately, this is an experience that I had to go through, and because I drive a sedan, you can imagine how much I kept cringing at the thought of the gravel road leading to where I actually wanted to sleep. This actually made me feel a bit dumb, because I had actually called the lodge and I thought to myself, why hadn't I asked them, for example, do they have a tar that leads to the location? How far is the main road from the tar, so that I can be prepared to say, you know what, if it's a kilometer, then I can do. But if you tell me that you have a gravel road that's 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers long, chances are I would not then book at that hotel. And because a lot of us actually use our cars to travel instead of flying, this video is definitely for you. Please, please, please make sure you inquire about the road, if there's any potholes. When I went to Panzi, when I was doing the panorama route, there was a part of the road, which ideally is a highway, that you can use to get to the location, but it was so riddled with potholes that they advised me at the lodge not to even use it. They literally advised me to drive straight to Nelspruit and then take a detour for another 100 k's to get to the lodge, which quite honestly, even though it was 100 kilometers detour, I really did appreciate it, because again, I drive a sedan. The last thing I would have wanted is suddenly now my tires have burst because of a big pothole. Now I'm waiting for roadside assist. It will just ruin your entire trip, and we definitely don't want that for you. With that said, I hope you found this video very useful. If so, please hit the like button below. If you haven't joined our community, please do hit the subscribe button. And also guys, please do not be shy to share this content on your Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, wherever it is, so that it can keep reaching more people, and also so that it can help more people besides just us who are here on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you so much for staying until the end of the video. This basically brings us to the end of this video. I'm going to see you in the next episode.